Welcome to part 1. So these are some of the equipment you might need. I've got my different sharpeners here. This one is my favourite one because it collects everything in the bottom here. I've also got this sharpener that has 2 holes in for the different sizes of pencils. We only really need a simple one like this one. I've also got 2 rubbers here. I've cut this one so it's got a point on it for more detailed rubbing out. I've also got these pencils here. I've got a H pencil, I've got a B pencil, my favourite Harry Potter pencil, which is a HB pencil, and my 2B sketching pencil. I've also got a little bit of tissue paper here, or toilet roll, and I've got 3 blending stumps, a larger one and 2 thinner ones. You don't have to have all of this equipment to be able to do your artwork at home. I'm going to take away all the bits that I don't need, and then you're left with just a pencil, rubber, sharpener and some tissue, and that's all we need to get started. This video shows you 5 tips for drawing cylinder shapes. So first you need to practice the shape. There's lots of different types of cylinder shapes, some are taller and some are shorter. Here I'm drawing some different types to show you. To choose your objects, have a look at some of the cylinder shapes that you might have in the cupboards at home. That oval shape can be difficult, so let's practice. Lots of people decide to draw it like this, quite pointy at the ends, and then draw the shape underneath and the curve at the bottom. However, the ovals are oval shaped, that means they're curved on the edges as well. So practice doing those oval shapes in your sketchbook or on some paper. Then you can do the lines down and that oval shape at the bottom. You can rub some of those bits out later. You need to practice lots of different oval shapes before you can start your drawing. You can use your rubber then to rub out any of the lines that you don't need, and make sure the curves are in the right place by looking at your object. So start off with a rectangle. You can use a ruler if you'd like to. You need to add in that oval at the top and the oval at the bottom, making sure you're touching the edges of those vertical lines. And then rub out any of your extra lines that you don't need and go over that outline a little bit so you can see it more clearly. We've got 3 cylinder shapes here, and I'm just going to rub out that bottom bit of the first cylinder to show you how I created it. This cylinder is just an outline. Number 2 is the incorrect way to add tone to a cylinder. You've done your cylinder shape, so you've done all the hard work already, but now I'm just adding tone in one direction, but I'm not looking to see where the dark shadows are. I'm just adding tone to the whole of the cylinder. Here you can still see the diagonal lines of my pencil, and they aren't curved to show the cylinder shape. I also haven't pressed harder to show the shadows or looked at where the highlights are on my object. For number 3, I'm going to look really closely at where the shadows are and the highlights are on my object. The light source was coming from the front on my object, and it was shining a little bit as a reflection on the lid of the object. So I'm adding in all the shadows here and the mid-tones and leaving that section in the middle. Because I've added the different tones now, you can't see the outline of the object anymore. And I'm starting to add in the shadows and notice where the darker sections are of my object. Now that I've got my dark mid-tones and highlights, I'm going to go in with a little bit of that tissue paper to blend the tones together. I'm shading in the background now, and then just blending that together as well. Final bit of blending. Here you can see by adding the dark shadows and the light highlights and all the midtones in between, you can make your cylinder look 3D.